tablets over chalkboards and underutilized technology. We'll go ahead and just turn the time right over to Dan.
All right, thank you. So I am a PhD student in the math department, and I've been teaching math classes for a few years now. Everyone in our department uses chalkboards or whiteboards. That's all we basically have to teach. Recently, I was allowed to teach an online class, so that's a pretty unique opportunity for a grad student. And I decided I wanted to make some Khan Academy style type videos. Does anyone know what that is? Yeah, so I looked into what that takes, and it takes a tablet and some recording software. And then I thought, why don't I just use this in the classroom? I guess a lot of people know about this, but it's not really used in our department, so that's why I wanted to talk about it and just talk about some advantages it has. So let's get into it. Okay, so here's the outline of what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about advantages and disadvantages of just using a whiteboard or a chalkboard, which is traditional lecture in math. Ooh. Sorry, that shouldn't have gone that far. I'll talk about the software I use and also the hardware I use, which is just this little tablet right here that you can plug in. And then I'll just do a demonstration for how it works, and you can see for yourself if you like it or not. Okay, so using a chalkboard in a math class is a pretty typical thing, and there's a reason for that. There's some advantages that it has. There's minimal effort in preparing, so if you want to prepare a lecture, you don't have to have a huge PowerPoint and take a long time and really think about it. It allows students to keep up, so if I'm writing equations, that's a lot more helpful than just popping up a huge equation on the board, because students are going to have a hard time keeping up and writing that down. So that's a good advantage of chalkboards. And it's more engaging for the instructor. I feel like an instructor who's just only clicking next on a PowerPoint is going to be more bored and therefore engage less interest in their students. So there's some good things about using a chalkboard, but it also has some disadvantages. It's hard to see in the back. It's actually hard to see in the front as well. It's just things can get a little blurry. Instructor often has their back to the student, and that's awkward, and often you can't hear people, so just some disadvantage there. And there's some limits because you're just writing on a board, so you can't do any animations, and you can't do anything really cool, I guess. You're limited to just drawing. Okay, so can we do better than this? I taught a trigonometry class in a huge auditorium in one of these buildings. I forget what it's called right now, but it's huge, and the students are so far back. I had 80 students, and one day I just didn't have time to erase the board, and I walked up the stairs, and I looked at what I had done, and I couldn't read it at all. And I thought, oh my gosh, how are these students doing anything? They didn't complain to me, they just sat in the back, and I mean, I guess if you had really great eagle vision, you could have seen it, but it was not good. Okay, so what am I currently using? Ink2Go is just a simple, really easy software. It's free from the University of Utah. You can just download it. It's usually like $10 or $20. It's easy to learn. You can learn it in like 10 or 20 minutes. You can customize hotkeys, which is really good for making your presentation seamless. So there's different kind of awesome features it has, and I'll try to demo those. And probably one of the biggest advantages of our chalkboard is that I can record everything that goes on the screen, including my voice. I could even record a webcam of myself. Not that I really like to do that, because no one really cares about seeing me, but you can post it online in your class, so I think that's really helpful. And then you can use whatever tablet, but I bought this one to try and make these videos, and it's just this Wacom tablet. And it costs $100 or $99. It's pretty portable. Brought it with me today. Okay, so I just want to do a demo of how I would use this to solve a simple equation. And I picked this really simple one, just in case it's been a while since you guys have done some math. Okay, so how can I then do this in a math class? Well, I can look at this and say I want to isolate x, and well, let's just subtract 7x from both sides. What I can do, actually, is hit text and say subtract 7x. So it looks really neat. It's really nice. If I hit pen, I can say I want red. I can do minus 7x minus 7x. And I can just push 1, changing the color back. And now I have 1 equals 11x minus 4. And then I can hit T for text and say just add 4 to both sides. Hit pen again and say I want red. So I can do plus 4, plus 4. And now change to blue. So 5 equals 11x. And so now I can just divide by 11 and get the answer. And some other cool things this has is, like, if I want to draw a square on my answer, I can hit S for square and then do that. Or I can hit H for highlighter and highlight things. So a lot of things you can't do with a chalkboard. And I think, so as I'm recording this, remember this can go on the website and students can come and look at this after. So this button up here allows me to create a new page, saving tons of time with erasing. So I don't have to sit here and do this and get all dirty. Then if a student has a question, I can just hit this button to navigate back. And I can do that as many times as I like, and then go and look what I already did. Okay? So it's a very good technology. So let's minimize that, get it out of the way. Actually, this is where take some finagling. So another thing that teaching this way gives you is it allows me to use other kind of programs in addition. Because if I'm writing on a board, if I draw graphs, I have to do it all by hand, and I can't animate anything. But if I'm teaching with a projector, it allows me to go to this. This is Desmos. It's a really simple program, and just to show you how simple it is, I haven't prepared it at all. I just go to desmos.com and start graphing. I can teach my students how to use this as well. So say if I wanted to show students about shifting a parabola to the right by h, I can type in something like this, and h is some, can you see that okay? Yeah. H is just some parameter that I can change, and I can add a slider for it, and I can slide it back and forth. And you can see visually, really easily, how this works. And it really allows you to teach in a good way. And then I can get this pen out and kind of, well, let's actually move this over a little bit. So if I make H, this, like up here? Ooh, yeah, I don't. There's nothing really more to the left. Yeah, it's an issue with the resolution we had. Sorry about that. Oh, yeah, for sure. So you definitely want to. So I guess what I was trying to say is that you can show H here. I can draw on it. I can do whatever I want, which is really cool, something you couldn't do. So let's clear that. Show you one more thing. So we're just learning about parabolas, or relearning, if you forgot. So I can add another parameter. So if I shift vertically, I can now show students what this does. And finally, if you want, you can click play and make a Windows 95 style screensaver out of a parabola. It's just all kinds of cool stuff that you wouldn't have ever thought about, that really it lets you keep the advantages of chalkboard style math teaching, which allows you to write and do things kind of on the fly, but also projects a much better thing. Okay, so. Thank you, that's all I have.
If your only takeaway is that you're glad you didn't do math for a career, you weren't listening well enough, but do we have any questions for our presenter?
What's your setup that you have? You have a tablet. Is it like
This right here?
wired to your laptop?
Yeah, it's just a USB. Exactly. And I don't know, it writes really well. A lot of people can do art with it. I can't. I'm working on that. Your question?
I haven't heard about Ink to Go before. Could you tell us a little bit more about the applications that might be used with, or how you might
did you
use
see
it?
that little black bar I had up there? So that it's just a really simple screen capturing and annotating software where you can have a pen or different shapes, different like highlighters and stuff like that. For instance, to get the highlighter, I pushed H. To get the pen, I pushed P. But it's just really simple. There's also Camtasia, which is really complicated. It has video editing and it has all these things. So eventually, I might move to that. Does that answer your question? Yeah. That's, a personal choice. Yeah. But yeah, you can definitely just write right on top of PowerPoint or any other thing with it. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely can. There's stuff like that, and you can just write words too as big as you want. Yeah, good question. Okay.
You said you were teaching this online. Did you have them watch a lecture and then complete a problem set, or did you pause it and have them do interactive things with the lecture?
So yeah, it's different. So like when I'm teaching online, I can do it in my house and do some editing. But yeah, you can just say something like, pause the video and do this problem on your own, and then you can click play to see what's going to happen next. Yeah. I've been using it online, and my goal is to use it in person, so that's how I got the idea. Yeah. No, so I've only been teaching online, and this is just what I'm going to do. I assume that they'll like it. No, they do like it, yeah. And so what I've done is create a discussion board and have them have a place where they can ask for their own types of videos. And this allows me to create them very quickly and without too much polishing, but I don't think that that's a major issue for most people.
One last question. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.